What's up, everybody? Here are my 7 takeaways from the Aiken Steeplechase State Course. So, number one, the facility is large. So, when I drove up there, it is massive. Like, there's a ton of space for cars, for tents. Even walking to the start line was like, holy crap, this is pretty big. Um, so, number one, I mean, that checks off the box of like having a large enough facility to run a state meet, like 100%. They did a good job on that. Number two, the start is pretty small. So just looking at it, like I was originally like, wow, this seems really small. And in my kind of personal opinion, it's like we're not hosting a 30 team invitational. Why not make those boxes a little bigger? At least maybe have 3 guys up front instead of 2. That's just me nitpicking. I definitely think like if that's a rule where it has to be 2, please correct me on it. Let me know. But for such a smaller meet, having the start line so small, it seemed a little odd, but hey, that's just me nitpicking. Number 3. So again, right off the get-go, you started the start line, and I wanted to kind of see like how it was going to be to get out. So I went on the line, did a couple strides out there, and I'll tell you what, like it's uneven. Like the uneven surfaces around not just the start, but the whole course is like, it kind of bugs me a little bit. I mean, granted, hey, it's cross country, it's going to be uneven terrain. But when you talk about like all these fast times and all these, like, everyone keeps saying it's going to run fast and whatnot, it's like, well, one, I think that's a knock. Like, if it's uneven, people are going to be tripping, going, wobbling all over the place. And I saw it quite a bit at the walkthrough the other day. So just one thing to kind of think about. Number 4, the soft sand. So the soft sand was definitely there. When I went through, like, and again, apologize for the stream, it being so shaky, but that's how it was. It was uneven and there was soft sand. And I don't think it's going to necessarily affect anybody to an extreme. I mean, I think you get through it, it's probably going to take, 10, 15 seconds just to get through, and you're good to go. Now, there was one other part of the course that had some soft sand and uneven, and it was a 90-degree turn, and it was rough. Like, I thought for a second I literally was going to flip my stroller. But nevertheless, like, there's kind of the 2 spots were probably the worst, and you can get out of this pretty quickly. But yeah, we'll see. Number 5. So probably the most controversial thing of this whole course has been the length. Now, I will say, I was out there with a wheel. There were many coaches out there with wheels. I was using my Garmin, and I heard a bunch of other student athletes using Garmin's and Strava and all that jazz. Hey, for one, I got the first mile was on point. When I looked at the wheel and compared to where the mile marker was, we're talking like feet, like 10 feet difference. It wasn't much. I know a couple coaches wheeled it. Some got like right on the money, others got a little bit off. I heard a student athlete recorded on the watch and it was like 2 point, it was like 3.2. Again, when I did my my run online, that came out to 3.2 as well. So, I mean, we're going to have to see. Nevertheless, I think there's still the fact that there's so much controversy over like the length of the course is kind of a knock on it. There shouldn't be. It should be as simple as wheeling it out and calling it a day. But there is that kind of out there, and I guess we're really gonna have to wait and see as far as how times go, and you kind of can judge from there. Obviously, if you have a girl that was running 1730s and she all of a sudden runs 1840, it's like, all right, there's something there, and you can't even knock Newberry anymore, because now that there's a girl who ran sub 18 on that one, like, you can get it done. So it's going to be noticeable if it is long. Number 6. So one thing I kind of like, we always kind of judge is elevation gain. This one had virtually none. And I'm going to be honest, like, you wouldn't notice it. You really wouldn't, I think. And especially like coming from Florida, you get flat ground and you expect fast courses, but it's not always, if it's flat, it's fast. And that's why, again, you hear a lot of people kind of say out there, like, it's going to be a fast course, it's flat, there's no elevation gain. Like, yeah, that is one part, but obviously mentioning the uneven surfaces and the sand, and obviously the length, all kind of play factors. But for this takeaway, the elevation gain is virtually none. So everybody should be pretty good. You're not going to have to be doing the Newberry Hill anymore like that. There's nothing out there like that. And last, number 7 is the finish. So the finish originally was, you go through the gate and it's a straight shot home. I love that. Like that was cool. I thought it was simple, straight to the point. Now it's you go through the gate, you make a left, you go down a little bit, you make a right, and then a straight shot home. A little too much going on, I think. I honestly think if you just made it straight shot, probably would have been good on the length. But they added more. They took away and then they added more, which makes no sense to me at all. But again, I'm not out there essentially making all the decisions on that. So hey, I could be wrong, completely wrong. And maybe they had to move it for different reasons. Nevertheless, though, like that's kind of my take on that one. I like the finish how it was. Changed it. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. One thing I am curious on though is spectators. Like, are spectators gonna be allowed in the infield area? Are they gonna be roped off? Like, especially for media, like how to get through and out. Like, I'm not trying to hop fences or anything, but it'll be definitely really curious to see like how everybody can gravitate towards the finish to see that. So overall thoughts. Again, when you look at a course, and it's funny because we've talked about it throughout so much on the podcast of like what our favorite courses are, and you want to always look at like ones that can facilitate large crowds and if hotels are nearby, obviously for teams that are traveling the day before. Aiken Steeplechase, I think, honestly checks a lot of boxes when it comes to having a facility that can produce and hold a state meet. I will say it's probably one of the worst locations, just being in Aiken and South Carolina. Like, I feel for all those teams on the coast. But like overall, it's not bad. I really don't think it's bad. Now, would I want it here again next year? Honestly, no. I really wouldn't. I don't know if they signed a long multi-year term to this course, but I really wouldn't. And mainly that kind of goes to like, there's no pre-state. There's no like Coaches Classic. I always think of like as the pre-state because it was at Newberry and then you have states at Newberry. Now with here, it's like you don't get to run on the course throughout the year. So you're not getting that race experience. I mean, going out and doing a walkthrough is great, but it's not race experience. So I think unless they open that up and either Aiken High School or another school is able to host an invitational there as like a pre-state, I really don't see why we continue to be at Aiken for another year or even years to come. Again, my vote honestly will always be kind of Fort Jackson. I love that course. It's fast. Yes, there's some hills, so you're not just getting a fast flat course, but you can run fast. Obviously, hey, 14:37 is the course record on there, so it can be done. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. And again, when you kind of look at overall this course and this facility and everything, like I said, I do think it checks the boxes on a lot. And hey, I could be completely wrong. We get there and it's an awesome meet. It's an awesome 2 days, and we're talking about how we're excited to come back there next year. So who knows? Leave your comments down below. I'm super curious to see what everybody else kind of has in mind and what they thought of the course if you were able to go out there. If not, hopefully this video kind of summarizes a little bit of things to kind of look forward to. And obviously you have the course map video, so you can kind of see areas where I'm talking about. I marked where soft sand was, so hopefully that helps. But other than that, guys, appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, share. Please share this stuff out to friends, family, other athletes on other teams. There's so many times where I get, people don't know that the content's out there, and it's like, that's crazy because we've been doing this all year and the last year too. So tons of videos for everybody to kind of get excited about. But appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, we'll see you guys at Newberry for state quals and then back at Aiken for states. Thanks.